Are you toiling and living troubled by circumstance and fear is creeping in? I looked at butterflies in this week and I saw them hopping from flower to flower, drinking the sap and just enjoying the wind and looking even beautiful while they're doing it. God has called us to a life like that. But we get stuck in the natural realm, depending on our five senses, what we see, hear, taste, see, smell and feel. And God wants to set us free from the natural realm so that we can depend on the spiritual realm that He has created for us. Nicodemus didn't understand the spiritual realm, and so when Jesus tried to explain to him about the born again experience, he couldn't get it. And in John 3 verse 4 it reads here, "What do you mean?" exclaimed Nicodemus. "How can an old man go back into his mother's womb and be born again?" You see, we want to try and figure things out our way. We want to depend on the five senses and the natural realm, and we get drawn up and down in life because of what we experience. But God has created another world for us to depend on. You see, in John 16:33, He says, "In this world you will have tribulations." In this world, meaning there is another world. But then He said, "But I have overcome this world." I have already put things in place for you in the spiritual realm, and when you depend on that world, on the spiritual realm, you will see how things fall in place in the natural realm. You see, we don't have to be like Nicodemus, not understanding. We have the Spirit of God in us, and we can understand the things of God. Later in John 3 verse 8, Jesus said, "The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but cannot tell where it comes from and where it goes. So is everyone who is born of the Spirit." Doesn't that remind you of butterflies? They are driven by the Spirit, they are driven by the wind, and we can depend on God's realm. We can be secure in what God says in His Word. Depend on that. Remember, the Word is spiritual, and when you depend on God's realm, what God has created for us, and do not be led by your five senses only, then you will see how things fall in place for you in the natural realm. Always remember, you are highly favored and deeply loved of God.